reading chapter 19, and it starts off with, "It is better to be poor and honest than to be a liar and a fool." Being excited about something is not enough. You must also know what you are doing. Don't rush into something, or you might do it wrong. People ruin their lives with the foolish things they do, and then they blame the Lord for it. Wealth will bring you many friends, but become poor and watch your friends will leave you. A witness who lies will be punished. That liar will not escape. Many people are nice to a generous person. Everyone wants to be friends with someone who gives gifts. If you are poor, your family will turn against you, and your friends will avoid you even more. You might beg them for help, but no one will come to help you. Be a friend to yourself. Do all you can to be wise. Try hard to understand, and you will be rewarded from the Lord. A witness who lies will be punished. That liar will be destroyed. A fool should not be rich, and a slave should not rule over princes. Experience makes you more patient, and you are most patient when you ignore insults. The shouts of an angry king are like a roaring lion, but his kind words are like a gentle rain falling softly on the grass. A foolish son brings a flood of troubles to his father, and the complaining wife is like the constant dripping of water. People receive houses and money from their parents, but a good wife is a gift from the Lord. Laziness brings on sleep, and an appetite for rest brings on hunger. Obey the law and live, ignore it and die. Giving help to the poor is like loaning money to the Lord. He will pay you back for your kindness. Discipline your children while there is still hope. Avoiding it can be deadly. People who are quick to become angry must pay the price. Protect them from punishment, and they become worse. Listen to advice and accept discipline. Then you too will become wise. People might make many plans, but what the Lord says is what will happen. People want a friend that they can trust. It is better to be poor than to be a liar. Respect the Lord, and you will have a good life, one that is satisfying and free from trouble. Some people are too lazy to take care of themselves. They will not even lift the food from their plate to their mouth. Punish a rude, arrogant person, and even slow learners will become wiser. But just a little correction is enough to teach a person who has understanding. Those who would steal from their father and chase away their mother are disgusting, shameful people. My son, if you stop listening to instructions, you will keep making stupid mistakes. Using a criminal as a witness makes a joke of justice. People like that only want to do wrong. People who show no respect for anything must be brought to justice. You must punish such fools. So let's be enlightened. We don't want to be a foolish child that brings trouble to our parents, and we also don't want to be a complaining, nagging wife. When that wife complains, it's like a leaky faucet that continues to drip and drip and drip, and it gets irritating, okay? We don't want to be that. We want to be full of wisdom. We want to be full of love. We want to be full of grace, making sure that we are bringing peace and honor to our parents and also speaking good things to our spouse. And we also want to be a pleasing spouse. Today we are reading chapter 20, and it starts off with, "Wine and beer make people lose control. They get loud and they stumble around, and that is foolish. An angry king is like a roaring lion. If you make him angry, you could lose your life. People who refuse to argue deserve respect. Any fool can start an argument. Some people are too lazy to plant seeds, so at harvest time they look for food and they find nothing. Getting information from someone can be like getting water from a deep well. If you are smart, you will draw it out. You might call many people your friends, but it is hard to find someone faithful who can really be trusted. When people live good, honest lives, their children are blessed. When the king sits and judges people, he must look carefully to separate the evil from the good. Can anyone say their heart is pure? Who can say, I am free from sin? The Lord hates for people to use the wrong weights and measures to cheat others. Even children show what they are like by their deeds and the things that they do. You can see if their actions are pure and right. It was the Lord who gave us eyes for seeing and ears for hearing. If you love to sleep, you will become poor. Use your time wisely by working, and you will have plenty to eat. When buying something, people always say it's no good, it costs too much. Then they go away and tell others what a good deal they got. The right knowledge can bring you gold, pearls, and other expensive things. If someone promises to pay the debt of a stranger, get a coat or something from him to keep until the debt is paid. It may seem to be a good thing to get something by cheating, but in the end, it will be worth nothing. Get good advice when you make your plans. Before you start a war, find good advisors. You cannot trust someone who will talk about things told in private, so don't be friends with someone who talks too much. Those who would curse their father or mother are like a lamp that goes out on the darkest night. If your wealth was easy to get, it will not be worth much to you. Don't ever say, I'll pay them back for what they did to me. Wait for the Lord and He will make things right. The Lord hates for people to use the wrong weights to cheat others. It is wrong to use scales that are not accurate. The Lord guides our steps, and we never know where He will lead us. Think carefully before you promise to give something to God. Later, you might wish you had not made that promise. Just like a farmer, a wise king will sift out the wicked. He will decide who is wrong and crush them. Your spirit is like a lamp to the Lord. He is able to see into your deepest parts. A king who is loyal and true will keep his power. Loyalty will keep his kingdom strong. We admire a young man for his strength, but we respect an old man for his gray hair. A beating can remove evil and make you completely clean. Let's be enlightened. Reading and studying Proverbs will purify and cleanse us. It teaches us self-control, how we should speak and interact with each other, and most importantly, how we should conduct ourselves as holy, for God is holy. Today we are reading chapter 21, and it starts off with, To the Lord, a king's mind is like a ditch used to water the fields. He can lead the king wherever he wants him to go. People think that whatever they do is right in their own eyes, but the Lord, He weighs the heart by judging the reasons for everything they do. Be righteous and administer true justice. The Lord loves that more than He loves sacrifices. Proud looks and proud thoughts are sins. They show that a person is evil. Careful planning leads to profit. Acting too quickly leads to poverty. Wealth that comes from telling lies disappears quickly and leads to death. The bad things that evil people do will destroy them because they refuse to do what is right. Criminals cause trouble wherever they go, but good people are honest and fair. It is better to live in a small corner on the roof than to share the house with a woman who is always arguing. Evil people always want to do more evil, and they show no mercy to people around them. When you punish a proud person who laughs at what is right, even fools will learn something, but a little instruction is enough for the wise to learn what they should. God is good. He knows what the wicked are doing, and He will punish them. Those who refuse to help the poor will not receive help when they need it themselves. If anyone is angry with you, give them a gift in private. A gift given in secret will pacify and calm even the strongest anger. A decision that is fair makes good people happy, but it makes those who are evil very afraid. Whoever leaves the path of wisdom will be out on their way to an early death. Loving pleasure leads to poverty. Wine and luxury will never make you wealthy. Wicked must pay for what happens to good people. The cheaters will be taken in exchange for the honest. It is better to live alone in a desert than with a quick-tempered wife who loves to argue. Wise people save the nice things they have. Fools use up everything as soon as they get it. People who try hard to do good and be faithful will find life, goodness, and honor. A wise person can defeat a city full of warriors and tear down the defenses they trust in. People who are careful about what they say will save themselves from trouble. Proud people think they are better than others. They show that they are evil by what they do. Lazy people will cause their own destruction because they refuse to work. Some people are greedy and never have enough. Good people are generous and they have plenty. God hates sacrifices from the wicked. It's like strange fire, especially when their reason for offering them is evil. Witnesses who lie will be caught and punished. A careful listener will always be there to speak up. Good people know that they are right, but the wicked, they have to pretend. There is no one wise enough to make a plan that can succeed if the Lord is against it. You can prepare your horses for battle, but only the Lord can give you the victory. Let's be enlightened. We don't want to be the contentious spouse. It's a very fleshly sin to walk around causing arguments. Then we wonder why our spouse would rather be outside of our house at another house in the wilderness. We want to make sure that we are speaking from a place of wisdom, that we're not causing arguments, that we are guarding our tongue. Yes, disagreements will happen, but we want to make sure that we are not purposely causing arguments, that we are not nagging, but that we are speaking from a place of love. Today we are reading chapter 22. It starts off with, "It is better to be respected than to be rich. A good name is worth more than silver and gold. The rich and the poor are the same. The Lord made them all. Wise people see trouble coming and they get out of its way, but fools go straight to it and suffer for it. Respect the Lord and be humble. Then you will have wealth, honor, and true life. Evil people are trapped by many troubles, but those who want to live avoid them. Train up a child in a way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. Those who spread trouble will harvest trouble. In the end, they will be destroyed for the trouble that they caused. Generous people will be blessed because they share their food with the poor. Get rid of the proud who laugh at what is right, and trouble will leave with them. All arguments and insults will come to an end. Love a pure heart and kind words, and the king will be your friend. The Lord watches over true knowledge, and he opposes those who try to deceive others. A person who is lazy and wants to stay home will say, 'There is a lion outside,' out of fear that they might be killed in the streets. The sin of adultery is a trap, and the Lord gets very angry with those who fall into it. Children do foolish things, but the rod of correction will teach them not to do such foolish acts. These two things will make you poor: hurting the poor to make yourself rich, and giving gifts to the rich." Now listen carefully to these words from the wise. Pay attention to what I have learned. It will be good for you to remember these words and have them ready when they are needed. I will teach you these things now. I want you to trust the Lord. I have written 30 sayings for you. These are the words of advice and wisdom. They will teach you things that you can know for sure to be true. Then you can give good answers to the one who sent you. So here are the first part of the 30 wise sayings. Number 1, it is easy to steal from the poor, but don't do it. And don't take advantage of them in court. The Lord is on their side. He supports the poor, and he will take from those who take from them. Number 2, don't be friends with people who become angry easily. Don't stay around quick-tempered people. If you do, you may learn to be like them. Then you will have the same problems that they have. Number 3, don't promise to pay someone else's debt. If you cannot pay, you will lose everything you have. So why should you lose the bed you sleep on? Number 4, never move an old property line that was marked long ago by your ancestors. Number 5, skilled workers will always serve kings. They will never have to work for less important people. We're going to continue the 30 wise sayings in chapters 23 and chapter 24, but I wanted to point out for chapter 22 one of my favorite verses, which is found in verse 6. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. We want to make sure that we are teaching children in a way that fits their needs, not our needs and not our wants. It is important that we listen to Holy Spirit, and he will guide us on how we are to not only raise our children, but help them foster their spiritual giftings. Today we are reading chapter 23, and we're going to continue with the 30 wise sayings. We read the first part yesterday in chapter 22. Now we're going to read the second part in chapter 23. Number 6, when you sit and eat with an important person, remember who you are with. Never eat too much, even if you are very hungry. Don't eat too much of his fine food. It might be a trick. Number 7, don't ruin your health overworking yourself trying to get rich. If you are smart, you will give it up. In the blink of an eye, money can disappear as if it grew wings and flew away like a bird. Number 8, don't eat with selfish people. Control any desire you have for their finest foods. They might tell you to eat and drink all you want, but they don't really mean it. They are the kind of people who are only thinking about the cost. And if you eat their food, you will get sick and be embarrassed. Number 9, don't try to teach fools. They will make fun of your wise words. Number 10, never move an old property line and don't take land that belongs to orphans. The Lord will be against you. He is powerful and he protects orphans. Number 11, listen to your teacher and learn all you can. Apply your heart to his instructions and your ears to the words of knowledge. Number 12, always correct children when they need it. If you spank them with the rod of correction, it will not kill them. In fact, you might save their lives. Remember, apply godly wisdom when correcting your child. Don't abuse them. Number 13, my son, it makes me happy when you make a wise decision. It makes me feel good inside when you say the right things. Number 14, do not let your heart envy sinners, but always respect the Lord. This will give you something to hope for that will not disappoint you. Number 15, so listen, my son, and be wise. Always be careful to follow the right path. Don't make friends with people who drink too much wine and eat too much food. Those who eat and drink too much become poor. They sleep too much and they end up wearing rags. Number 16, listen to your father. Without him, you would never have been born. Respect your mother, even when she is old. Truth, wisdom, learning, and understanding are worth paying money for. They are worth far too much to ever sell. The father of a good person is very happy. A wise child brings him joy. Make both of your parents happy. Give your mother that same joy. Number 17, my son, listen closely to what I am saying. Let my life be your example. Prostitutes and bad women are a trap. They are like a deep well that you cannot escape. A bad woman waits for you like a thief, and she causes many men to be unfaithful to their wives. Number 18, who gets into fights and arguments? Who gets hurt for no reason and has red bloodshot eyes? It's the people who stay out too late, drinking wine, staring into their strong drinks. So be careful with wine. It is pretty and red as it sparkles in the cup, and it goes down so smooth when you drink it, but in the end, it will bite like a snake. Wine will cause you to see strange things and to say things that make no sense. When you lie down, you would think that you are on a rough sea and feel like you're at the top of the mast. You will say, they hit me, but I never felt it. They beat me, but I don't remember it. Now I can't wake up. I need another drink. We're going to conclude with the 30 wise sayings in chapter 24, but I wanted to point out for chapter 23, verse 9. Don't try to teach fools. They will make fun of your wise words. As you find yourself reading and studying Proverbs, you will increase in your learning. As you share and try to use it to teach others, those who have an ear to hear, they will hear you. But the foolish, they will reject it. And don't take it personal. They are rejecting wisdom, not you. They will mock you, but remember, Jesus too was mocked. Use wisdom for yourself and for those who want to receive the instruction of wisdom. Yesterday, we read the second part of the 30 wise sayings. Now we are concluding with the third part, and this is found in chapter 24. Number 19, don't be jealous of evil people. Have no desire to be around them. In their hearts, they plan to do evil. All they talk about is making trouble. Number 20, good homes are built on wisdom and understanding. Knowledge fills the rooms with beautiful treasures. Number 21, wisdom makes a man more powerful. Knowledge gives a man strength. Get good advice before you start a war. To win, you must have many good advisors. Number 22, fools cannot understand wisdom. They have nothing to say when people are discussing important things. Number 23, if you start planning ways to do wrong, people will learn that you are a troublemaker. Such foolish plans are wrong, and people have no respect for someone who laughs at what is right. Number 24, if you are weak in times of trouble, that is real weakness. Number 25, if you see someone on their way to death or in danger of being killed, you must do something to save them. You cannot say, oh, that's not none of my business. No, the Lord knows everything, and he knows why you do things. He watches you, and he will pay you back for what you do. Number 26, my son, eat honey. It is good. Honey straight from the honeycomb is the sweetest. In the same way, know that wisdom is good for you. Wisdom will give you something to hope for that will not disappoint you. Number 27, don't be like a criminal who makes plans to rob those who are good or take away their homes. Good people might fall again and again, but they always get up. It is the wicked who are defeated by their troubles. Number 28, don't be happy when your enemy has troubles. Don't be glad when they fall. The Lord will see this and he might be upset with you and decide not to punish your enemy. Number 29, don't let those who are evil upset you, and don't be jealous of them. They have no hope. Their light will burn out. And number 30, son, respect the Lord and the king, and don't join with those who are against them, because people like that can quickly be destroyed. You have no idea how much trouble God and the king can make for their enemies. Now here are some more wise sayings. Starting at verse 23, a judge must be fair. He must not support some people simply because he knows them. The people will turn against a judge who lets the guilty go free. Even the people of other nations will curse him. But if a judge punishes the guilty, then the people will be happy with him, and he will be a blessing to them. An honest answer is as pleasing as a kiss on the lips. First, get your fields ready. Next, plant your crops, and then build your house. Don't speak against someone without good reason, or you will appear foolish. Don't say, oh, you hurt me, so I will do the same to you. I will punish you for what you did to me. Verse 30, I walked past a field that belonged to a lazy man. It was a vineyard that belonged to someone who understood nothing. Weeds were growing everywhere. Wild vines covered the ground, and the wall around the vineyard was broken and falling down. I looked at this and thought about it. This is what I learned. A little sleep, a little rest, folding your arms, and taking a nap, these things will make you poor very quickly. Soon you will have nothing, as if a thief broke in and took everything away. Let's be enlightened. We are not to envy people, especially sinners. Trust me, it may look like they got it all together, but Satan, he hands out blessings too. And not only that, but God, he reigns on the just and the unjust. So let's not get caught up worrying about what others are doing. Focus on ourselves and make sure that we are in right alignment with God. We can only give account for ourselves and not for others. Today we are reading chapter 25, and these are more wise sayings from Solomon. These proverbs were copied by servants of Hezekiah, the king of Judah. We honor God for the things he keeps secret, but we honor kings for the things that they can discover. We cannot discover how high the sky is above us or how deep the earth is below. The same is true with the minds of kings. We cannot understand them. Remove the worthless things from silver to make it pure, and a worker can make something beautiful. Take the evil advisors away from a king, and goodness will make his kingdom strong. Don't brag about yourself and exalt yourself before the king and pretend you are someone important. It is much better for the king to invite you to take a more important position than for you to embarrass yourself in front of his officials. Don't be too quick to tell a judge about something you saw. You will be embarrassed if someone else proves you wrong. If you want to tell your friends about your own problems, tell them, but don't discuss what someone told you in private. Whoever hears it will lose their respect for you and will never trust you again. Saying the right thing at the right time is like a golden apple in a silver setting. Wise advice to a listening ear is like gold earrings or fine jewelry. To his master who sent him, a messenger who can be trusted is as refreshing as a drink of cold water on a hot summer day. People who promise to give gifts but never give them are like clouds and wind that bring no rain. With patience, you can make anyone change their thinking, even a ruler. Gentle speech is very powerful. Honey is good, but don't eat too much of it or you will be sick. And don't visit your neighbors' homes too often or they will begin to hate you. A person who gives false testimony against a neighbor is as deadly as a club, a sword, or a very sharp arrow. Never depend on a liar in times of trouble. It's like chewing with a bad tooth or walking with a crippled foot. Singing happy songs to a sad person is as foolish as taking a coat off on a cold day or mixing soda and vinegar. If your enemies are hungry, give them something to eat. If they are thirsty, give them some water. This will make them feel the burning pain of shame, and the Lord will reward you for being good to them. Just as wind blowing from the north brings rain, telling secrets bring anger. It is better to live in a small corner of the roof than to share the house with a contentious woman. Good news from a faraway place is like a cold drink of water when you are hot and thirsty. Good people who don't stand strong against evil are like springs that have been polluted or pools that have been turned dirty and muddy. Just as eating too much honey is not good, so to seek one's own glory is not glory at all. People who cannot control themselves are like cities without walls to protect them. Let's be enlightened. It is important that we are not seeking our own glory. Interesting, I was just having this conversation with someone a couple of days ago, and this individual wanted the glory, and they were used to being the center of attention, and they did not want to lose that. And I had to inform them by being gentle with my words and being wise in how I approach them and share with them some wisdom that only God gets the glory. We are not to seek out our own glory and our own recognition and our own honor. Chapter 26 is all about wise sayings about fools. Just as snow should not fall in summer, nor rain at harvest time, so people should not honor a fool. Don't worry when someone curses you for no reason. Nothing bad will happen. Such words are like birds that fly past and never stop. You have to whip a horse. You have to put a bridle on a mule. And you have to beat a fool who refuses to learn. There is no good way to answer fools when they say something stupid. Don't even agree with them. If you answer them, then you too will look like a fool. If you don't answer them, they will think that they are smart. Never let a fool carry your message. If you do, it will be like cutting off your own feet. You are only asking for trouble. A fool trying to say something wise is like a crippled person trying to walk. Showing honor to a fool is as bad as tying a rock in a sling. A fool trying to say something wise is like a drunk trying to pick a thorn out of his hand. Hiring a fool or a stranger who is just passing by is dangerous. You don't know who might get hurt. Like a dog that returns to its vomit, a fool does the same foolish things again and again. People who think that they are wise when they are not are worse than fools. A person who is lazy and relies on lame excuses wants to stay home. They say things like, "What if there is a lion out there?" They believe if they go outside to work that they will be killed. What a fool. Like a door on its hinges, a lazy man turns back and forth on his bed. He never gets out. Lazy people are too lazy to lift the food from their plate to their mouth. Lazy people think they are 7 times smarter than the person who really has good sense. To step between two people arguing is as foolish as going out into the street and grabbing a stray dog by its ears. Anyone who would trick someone and then say, "Oh, I was only joking," is like a fool who shoots flaming arrows into the air and accidentally kills someone. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, arguments stop. Charcoal keeps the coals glowing. Wood keeps the fire burning. And troublemakers, they keep arguments alive. People love to hear gossip. It is like tasty food on its way to the stomach, but it's actually junk and it can harm you. Good words that hide an evil heart are like silver paint over a cheap clay pot. Evil people say things to make themselves look good, but they keep their evil plans a secret. What they say sounds good, but don't trust them. They conceal their malice and are full of evil ideas. They hide their evil plans with nice words, but in the end, everyone will see the evil that they do. Whoever digs a pit can fall into it. Whoever rolls a large stone can be crushed by it. Liars hate the people they hurt, and false praise can hurt people. Let's be enlightened. Fools, they are silly, and when you get into their silly arguments, you bring yourself down to their level. They don't want to be taught. They are spiritually immature, and they want to just argue their point. The Bible is not up for debate. The Word of God is truth. Today we are reading chapter 27, and it begins with, "Never brag about what you will do in the future. You have no idea what tomorrow will bring." Never praise yourself, let others do it. A stone is heavy and sand is hard to carry, but the irritation caused by a fool is much harder to bear. Anger is cruel and can destroy like a flood, but jealousy is much worse. Open rebuke and criticism is better than hidden love. You can trust what your friend says, who corrects out of love and concern, even when it hurts. But your enemies, they want to hurt you, even when they act nice, because they serve hidden agendas. When you are full, you will not even eat honey. When you are hungry, even something bitter tastes sweet. A man away from home is like a bird away from its nest. Perfume and incense make you feel good, and so does good advice from a friend. Don't forget your own friends or your father's friends. If you have a problem, go to your neighbor for help. It is better to ask a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. My son, be wise. This will make me happy. Then I'll be able to answer those who criticize me. Wise people see trouble coming and they get out of its way, but fools, they go straight to the trouble and they suffer from it. When you make a deal with a stranger, get something from him and any other foreigners with him to make sure he will pay you. Don't wake up your neighbors early in the morning with a shout of good morning. They will treat it like a curse, not a blessing. A complaining wife is like water that never stops dripping on a rainy day. Stopping her is like trying to stop the wind or trying to hold oil in your hand. As iron sharpens iron, so friends keep each other sharp. People who take care of fig trees are allowed to eat the fruit. In the same way, people who take care of their masters will be rewarded. Just as you can see your own face reflected in water, so your heart reflects the kind of person you are. Just as the place of death and destruction is never full, people always want more and more. People use fire to purify gold and silver. In the same way, you are tested by the praise people give you. Even if you pound fools to powder like grain in a bowl, you will never force the foolishness out of them. Learn all you can about your sheep. Take care of your goats the best you can. Neither wealth nor nations last forever. Cut the hay and new grass will grow. Then gather new plants that grow on the hills. Cut the wool from your lambs and make your clothes. Sell some of your goats and buy some land. Then there will be plenty of goat's milk for you and your family, with enough to keep the servants healthy. Let's be enlightened. A mark of a true friend is that they will be willing to wound us with loving correction. The correction may not feel good, but it will be an expression of the love and faithfulness of a true friend. A sweet friendship refreshes the soul. So let's take inventory of our friends and see who can we count on to be truthful and loving all at the same time. Today we are reading chapter 28. The wicked are afraid of everything, but those who live right are as brave as lions. A lawless nation will have many bad leaders, but a smart leader will rule for a long time in a land where people obey the law. A leader who takes advantage of the poor is like a hard rain that destroys the crops. Those who refuse to obey the law, they promote evil. Those who choose to obey the law, they oppose evil. The wicked, they don't understand justice, but those who love the Lord, they understand it completely. It is better to be poor and honest than to be rich and evil. A smart son obeys the laws, but a son who spends time with worthless people brings shame to his father. If you get rich by charging high interest rates, your wealth will go to someone who is kind to the poor. When people do not listen to God's teaching, He does not listen to their prayers. Their prayers are actually repulsive to God. Those who plan to hurt good people will fall into their own traps, but good things will happen to those who are good. The rich who is conceited and they rely on their own wealth instead of God, they always think that they are wise. But a poor person who is wise can see the truth because they only rely on God. When good people become leaders, everything is great. But when the wicked rise to power, everyone hides. Whoever hides their sins will not be successful, but whoever confesses their sins and stops doing wrong, they will receive mercy. People who respect others will be blessed, but stubborn people will have plenty of troubles. An evil ruler over those who are helpless is like an angry lion or a charging bear. A foolish ruler hurts the people under him, but a ruler who hates wrong will rule for a very long time. A murderer will never have peace. Don't support such a person. Honest people, they will be safe, but dishonest people will be ruined. Whoever works hard will have plenty to eat, but whoever wastes their time with dreams will always be poor. People who can be trusted will have many blessings, but those who are just trying to get rich in a hurry, they will be punished. It is wrong for a judge to support someone simply because he knows them, but some judges will change their decisions for the price of a loaf of bread. Selfish people only want to get rich. They do not realize that they are very close to being poor. Correct someone and later they will thank you. That is much better than just saying something just to be nice. Someone might steal from their parents and say, I did nothing wrong, but that person is as bad as an enemy who smashes everything in the house. Greedy people, they might sue you in court, but those who trust the Lord, they are rewarded. It is foolish to be too confident. Those who ask for advice are wise and will escape disaster. Whoever gives to the poor will have plenty. Whoever refuses to help them will get nothing but curses. When the wicked rise to power, everyone hides. When they are defeated, good people multiply. Let's be enlightened. Not every rich person has gained their wealth through wisdom. I'm thankful that I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. That experience has taught me a lot of wisdom on how I can budget, how I can save, and invest in the future. Take heed to what I'm about to share with you right now. God instructed me in a dream that His people need to save for the future. And keep in mind that your savings account is separate from emergency funds. You never know when disaster will strike, so be prepared. Today we are reading chapter 29. Some people refuse to bend when someone corrects them. Eventually, they will break and there will be no one to repair the damage. When the rulers are good, the people are happy. When the rulers are evil, the people complain. A son who loves wisdom makes his father happy. One who wastes his money on prostitutes will lose their wealth. A nation will be strong when it has a fair and just king. A nation will be weak when it has a king who is selfish and demands gifts. If you give false praise to others in order to get what you want, you are only setting a trap for yourself. Evil people are defeated by their sin, but good people will sing and be happy. Good people want to do what is right for the poor, but the wicked, they don't care. Proud people who laugh at what is right cause problems that divide cities, but people who are wise are able to calm those who are angry. If someone who is wise tries to settle a problem with a fool, the fool will argue and say stupid things and they will never agree. If you always try to be honest, murderers will hate you, but those who do what is right, they will want you to be their friend. Fools are quick to express their anger, but wise people are patient and they control themselves. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials will be evil. In one way, the poor and those who steal from them are the same. The Lord made them both. If a king judges the poor fairly, he will rule for a very long time. Punishment and discipline can make children wise, but children who are never corrected, they will bring shame to their mother. If the wicked are ruling the nation, sin will be everywhere, but those who live right will win in the end. Correct your children whenever they are wrong, then you will always be proud of them. They will never make you ashamed. If a nation is not guided by God and not receiving revelation, the people will lose self-control, but the nation that obeys God's laws will be happy. Servants will not learn a lesson if you only talk to them. They might understand you, but they will not obey. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. Give your servants everything they want, and they will learn to be wasteful. An angry person causes arguments, and someone who is quick-tempered is guilty of many sins. Your pride can bring you down. Humility will bring you honor. You are your own worst enemy if you take part in a crime. You will not be able to tell the truth even when people threaten you. Fear can be a trap, but if you trust in the Lord, you will be safe. Many people want the friendship of a ruler, but the Lord is the only one who judges people fairly. Good people think that the wicked are disgusting, and the wicked feel disgust for those who are honest. Let's be enlightened. Only a fool vents everything that they are feeling, but a wise person, they know how to keep themselves in check. Not only are our feelings fickle, but not everyone is interested in them. There's a time and a place for everything. Also, don't inflict your feelings on other people. Exercise self-control and cast your cares to God, for He cares for you. Today we are reading chapter 30. I am tired, so tired. How can I keep going? I am stupid. I am not as smart as other people are. I have not learned to be wise. I know nothing about the Holy One. Who has ever gone up to heaven and come back down? Who gathered the winds in his hand? Who can gather up all the water in his lap? Who set the limits for the world? What is his name and what is his son's name? Do you know? You can trust this. Every word that God speaks is true. God is a safe place for those who go to him. So do not add to his word, nor try to change what God says. If you do, he will punish you and prove that you are a liar. God, I ask you to do two things for me before I die. Don't let me tell lies, and don't make me too rich or too poor. Give me only enough for each day. If I have too much, I might deny that I need you, Lord. But if I am too poor, I might steal and bring shame to the name of my God. Never say bad things about a slave to his master. If you do, he will curse you and you will suffer for it. Some people, they curse their fathers and refuse to bless their mothers. Some people think they are pure, but they have done nothing to remove the filth of their sin. Some people are so proud of themselves that they look down on everyone else. There are people whose teeth are like swords and their jaws like knives. They take everything they can from the poor. Greedy people know only two things. Give me this, give me that. There are three other things that are never satisfied, really four things that never have enough. The place of death, a woman with no children, dry ground that needs rain, and a fire that will never stop by itself. People who make fun of their father or refuse to obey their mother should have their eyes plucked out by wild birds and be eaten by vultures. There are three things that are amazing and too wonderful or hard for me to understand. Really, four things that I don't understand: an eagle flying in the sky, a snake moving on a rock, a ship moving across the ocean, and a man in love with a maid. A woman who is not faithful to her husband acts innocent. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says that she has done nothing wrong. There are three things that make trouble on the earth, really four that the earth cannot bear: a slave who becomes a king, fools who have everything they need, a woman whose husband hated her but still married her, and a servant girl who becomes ruler over the woman she serves. There are four things on the earth that are small but very wise. Ants are small and weak, but they save their food all summer. Badgers are small animals, but they make their homes in the rocks. Locusts have no king, but they are able to work together. Lizards are small enough to catch with your hand, but you can find them living in kings' palaces. There are three things that act important when they walk. Really, there are four. A lion, he is the warrior of the animals and runs from nothing. A rooster walking proudly. A goat, and a king among his people. If you have been foolish enough to become proud and make plans against other people, stop and think about what you are doing. Stirring milk causes butter to form. Hitting someone's nose causes blood to flow. And making people angry causes trouble. Let's be enlightened. As you can see, the person that wrote chapter 30, he is asking questions that some of us may have asked to ourselves or to God. He is very humble in his approach, stating that he is not wise. He is also showing integrity, and he's teaching us about how to be content in God, not desiring too much, because if we have everything we need, we'll feel like we don't need God at all. We have reached the end of our Proverbs reading challenge of reading the book of Proverbs, the entire book of Proverbs, all 31 chapters. And today we are reading chapter 31, everyone's favorite chapter, about who can find a virtuous wife and the essence of the Proverbs 31 woman. These are the wise sayings that King Lemuel's mother taught him. I prayed for a son, and you are the son I gave birth to. Don't waste your strength on women. Women, they destroy kings, so don't waste yourself on them. Lemuel, it is not wise for kings to drink wine. It is not wise for rulers to want beer. They may drink too much and forget what the law says. Then they might take away the rights of the poor. Give beer to people without hope. Give wine to those who are in trouble. Let them drink to forget their troubles. Let them forget that they are poor. Speak up for people who cannot speak for themselves. Help people who are in trouble. Stand up for what you know is right and judge all people fairly. Protect the rights of the poor and those who need help. Now it's interesting, and I didn't realize this until last night when I was studying this, that Proverbs 31 was written by a woman to a man so that he could know what to look for in a wife. It was written by the king's mother. Who can find a virtuous wife, for her worth is far above rubies? The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also arises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She makes her own thread, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes sheets and spreads for the beds. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them to the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household. She is never lazy. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Thank you again for joining me for the Proverbs Reading Challenge. I pray that you were blessed, and I hope that you were enlightened.